I shook my head. I shouldn't think about it too much. Oh, wait, I know. The case was confidential, so the arrest of the culprit hadn't been made public. Ah, okay. But still, if he was taking part in the disappearance and knew and was helped by somebody, to the point where that same somebody would pin the crime on somebody, he would know. Nonetheless, even if it was confidential. So Satoshi-kun hadn't realized that he could come back. Unless somebody else, like, not even this third party knew of this dopehead that was put as the murderer for this case. So, I know he's a little thick-headed. Maybe he'd been waiting for things to calm down until the end of time. But if so, couldn't he give a call to Satoko at least? He should tell her he's living in a faraway place, but that he'd be coming home soon. That stupid Satoko. She'd be living with Rika Furude since Satoshi-kun went away. So nobody would pick up the phone even if he called. Stupid girl. Don't you want your big brother to come home? Given Satoshi-kun's personality, he wouldn't remember any phone numbers other than his home number. So he wouldn't be able to contact anybody in Hinamizawa. Maybe he'd been calling Satoko every night. He keeps ringing, but nobody picks up. Then he assumed Satoko might be taking a bath or be in the restroom. He put on a puzzled smile while mumbling, like always.
Moo.
I imitated his voice without realizing it. Well, I guess so. That grudge on Satoko, it still rings strong in you, it seems, even to this day. Okay. I have to pause here a little bit. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't think I've changed anything, but the game is so loud on my end, like the voices and everything. Let me see, if I put it like at 15%, is that gonna be good? I mean, it should be good, but I wonder if this will also change like the video itself. Hopefully not.
Nani? 何? どうしたの? 今、シオン、何か言わなかった?
Okay, now it's better. Like, what the fuck? I left it off and urged me on to continue. I realized then that her tone had changed. Also, speaking of sounds, you may notice that the crickets are being very staticky and such. You know, there is somebody that commented about this, and they said that maybe the reason why I was so confused about the weird change in sound effects and music at the beginning, that I was so confused, like, how can I change this? Is because it may be possible that some of these sound effects, like this one, were put in like the music folder instead of the sound effects. And I was like, well, what the fuck? So, sorry guys, there's nothing I can do about it. I hadn't been listening to her because I was thinking about Satoshi-kun. I thought she was still happily talking about Kei-chan. So, if there is somebody to blame for my confusion in the first parts and keep, like, switching, like, the settings, like, over and over, like, at times interrupting, like, the flow of the read, it is because of that. But beyond Sonic grim now. Her faint smile looked pitiful. It was too late to ask what was going on. So instead, I concentrated on her story instead.
でね、おじさんが今日は盛り上げてくれてありがとうって言って、私以外の全員に。
Oh?
うん。お姉以外の全員にね。そりゃあ私も欲しかったけどさ。みんなの手前、私にもちょうだいとは言い出せなかったし。相変わらずお姉は自分の欲しいものを欲しいと言えない人ですね。それで
Mion sniffled. I realized that she was on the verge of tears.
ケイちゃんの袋にはね、一番可愛いお人形が入ってて、そのお人形が一番欲しかったってわけ？別に何のお人形だってよかったんだよ。ケイちゃんは 私だけもらってないって知ってたのに、私にくれなかった。ミオンには似合わないよなって言って、次に生まれてくるときは、男に生まれてこい。そう言われたんだよ。言われたんだよ。
That was Keiichi's weak point. He might be fun and popular, but he wasn't mature. Not like Satoshi-kun.
やり直したい。ケイちゃんに出会った最初の頃からやり直して、今度はちゃんと女の子だと思ってもらえるようにやり直したい。おねえ、深刻すぎですって。お姉がやり直したいと思って、しかも向こうが何もトラブってない状態なら全然セーフじゃないですか。互いに傷つき合ってただれちゃうと、まあやり直しも面倒でしょうが。やり直せるかな。ケイちゃんの前で涙を流してないなら、そもそも何も手遅れじゃないんです。お姉がこの場で適当に涙して、明日から心を入れ替えていけば修正可能ですって。うん。そりゃケイちゃんのデリカシーのなさには呆れますけど、その結果は結局今日までのお姉の積み重ねてきた結果なわけですから。今日からの生活を少しずつ改めてポイントを稼ぎ直せばいいだけのことです。生活を改めるってどうやって？お姉に可愛らしくしろって言うと、明日からフリフリの格好で登校しかねませんからね。変に構えないで普段通りに行きましょう。でも細かい部分でこれまでの違いを見せていく。そこがさりげないポイント。あと人形をもらったレナという子には釘を刺しておくこと。現在のケイちゃんの中ではお姉よりもレナの方が高ポイントの可能性が高いです。確かにレナは女の子っぽいしな。可愛いし海外しいし。ライバルがいるならうかうかできませんよお姉。涙は男を引き寄せる力がありますけど、つなぎ止めておく力はありません。普段は笑っててポイントで泣く。萌えの典型パターンの一つかもです。私もケイちゃんに実践してみるかな。ダメだよ、ダメお姉が気に入る男の子ですからね。私が気に入らない道理はありませんから。さーて、ケイちゃんをどう引き込んでみせようかな。なんならお姉、どっちがケイちゃんの気を引けるか競争しましょうか。やだもう絶対やだ。シオン、ひなみざわに来たら追い返す。
I'm happy for you, sis. Are you? It's not too late at all. It's important to know the distance between the boy you love and yourself, and shift the way you appeal to him to compensate. And the boy I love is missing, you know. I don't even know where he is, or when he's coming back. Compared to that, you are very lucky. Mian was saying she'd do her best from tomorrow on with red, tearful eyes, but I sensed a deeply negative feeling emerging inside me. Nobody was blaming Mion for being happy with Keiichi. I wasn't envious. I wasn't jealous. I didn't want her to be blamed the same way I was blamed. It was just that there was no space for Satoshi-kun in Mion's mind anymore. Filled as it was with Kei-chan and her other friends now. It didn't matter to her if Satoshi-kun came back. Or not. Just like how she didn't care if it was sunny or rainy tomorrow. What about me then? Had I been thinking about Satoshi-kun all the time for the past year? I wasn't proud of my own answer. I'd become used to life without Satoshi-kun. His absence didn't hurt me anymore. I was getting used to life with Keiichi Maebara. And if I let my guard down, he might just fill up the space I've been saving for Satoshi-kun. If Shion Sonozaki had prayed harder for Satoshi-kun to return, he might have come home already. Where did Satoshi-kun go? Last year, right after his disappearance, I paid close attention to the information circulating in the Sonozaki family and its underground connections. And I frequently went to the police station to check with Oishi for new information. Even with all that, I couldn't get any new leads on his whereabouts. I eventually became interested in Oyashiro-sama's curse, which surrounded Satoshi-kun's disappearance. I researched the dark history of the village. The more I looked into it, the less likely his survival seemed. I returned the Mio-san's scrapbooks to her, and then I hadn't gone to the library since. I started a new life in a new school. I made new friends, and in the same way, as falling leaves covered the ground, I felt like I was losing sight of what was really important to me. It was already almost the end of spring. They said that summer was coming early, and be very hot this year. Normally it'd be the rainy season now, but we'd had no rain at all. The Watanagashi festival was right around the corner. It'd been almost a year since Satoshi-kun went missing. In Hinamizawa, they don't allow you to talk openly about Oyashiro-sama's curse, or the series of mysterious deaths. So everybody acts like the murder of Satoshi-kun's aunt never happened. And that's because Satoshi Hojo-kun was a member of the family of traders. He fell victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse in the 4th year running. He was demoned away. Everybody was trying to forget about his existence and erase their memories of him. Don't make him disappear because of the curse. Don't erase his existence. Satoshi-kun was living in Hinamizawa just a year ago. He went to school. He was an A student. He was a member of the Hinamizawa fighters. He could never hit the ball when it really mattered. He wasn't reliable, but pure. He was warm. Because of the curse, people made him disappear. They stopped mentioning his name and acted like he never existed. A new resident like Keiichi Maebara wouldn't even know him. He seriously believed that Satoshi-kun had transferred out. I miss you, Satoshi-kun. I want to go shopping with you again. I want to be in a baseball game with you again and get a cold drink afterwards. I want to tease you and I want you to stroke my head again. Your hand was so warm. I felt as my whole body was being caressed. Satoshi-kun. Well, if you're saying that you weren't thinking about him as much for the past year, now you're thinking of him a lot again. Trifold. Tenfold. It kinda sucks that apparently Shion has given up on trying to figure out Satoshi's disappearance. My babies! Look at them! Look at them in their adorable forms. In their 24/7, 7/27/4/7 adorable forms. But let me finish what I had to finish. It kinda sucks that Shion eventually gave up on the investigation of Satoshi's disappearance. And now, more than likely, we're gonna go back to reliving the events of chapter 2, although a bit differently and from Shion's perspective, so chances are we're not gonna get that much in terms of Satoshi's disappearance, which kind of sucks, because, like, when it was announced, like, it was announced that Shion is going to be the new protagonist and is going to be investigating this stuff. But I guess this is the end of that road, and now we're going to go through the end of suffering again. But anyway, let's have little munchkins.
男の子なら仕方がないのですよ。
Wait, so are we here as Mion? Or Shion dressed up as Mion?
みーちゃんもしーちゃんも、ケイチくん困ってるよ。
ですってよ、お姉。大岡越前じゃあるまいし、このままケイちゃんが引きちぎれるまで引っ張りっこします。引っ張りっこなんかしてないよ。シオンが引っ張らなければ済むことでしょ。シオンは沖宮に帰れ。はい、了解。そうしますね。パッと。
And thus Keiichi falls on Mion. I let go of Keiichi suddenly, so he and Sis flew off like a rubber band. Keiichi rolled on the ground while Sis was stuck in a bush head first. Oh, okay, never mind. No romanticism. Yet. What lively people.
じゃあケイちゃん、これ以上からかうとお姉に噛みつかれかねないので、今日はこれで帰りますね。
Okay, so clearly we're going through a completely different form of chapter 2. Now we're at that point where Keiichi knows that there are two sisters. But, you know, one thing popped into my head when it comes to this. You know how early on, like through the first chapters, I was thinking that, okay, Mion dressed up as Shion to appear more girly, but without Shion knowing, until eventually Shion finds out and is like, ah, what you're doing, sis? Are you trying to dress up as me, more girly, so you can capture Keiichi's heart more? I didn't even know that you were gonna dress up as me. Or it could be that the doll incident happened. Mion cried that to Shion, and so on the spot they thought, okay, let's dress up as each other again, and I will let you be me, Shion, and Angel Mort. You're gonna meet him at the Angel Mort, and you're gonna be like that. Like, it's either one or the other. So I'm not sure.
あ、シオン。そのさ、今日はありがとな。
ああ、あんなのお安いご用です。あの程度で恩が着せられるならいくらでもってくらいに。
じゃあまたな、シオン。
His hand landed on my head. Rub, 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 rub. He struck my head pretty roughly, but the warmth reminded me.
じゃあすみませんね。今日は失礼します。またね、お姉。二度と来るなー。レナは紹介。サトコはトラ。リカちゃんは塩巻いて。
The warmth remained on the top of my hand. It felt ticklish and sore. I had to stop. I got out my moped and pushed that aching spot against the telephone pole. Sorry, Satoshi-kun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I never forget about you. I still remember you. I'm worthless without you. I can't stand life without you because it's gray and cold and boring. It's true. It's true. I can never smile because you aren't here. I can't.
じゃあまたな、シオン。
Keiichi's face appeared in my mind. I recall the touch of his hand stroking my head. It wasn't warm. I wasn't happy. It was rough and painful. I hate that insensitive guy. He's too childish, rude, and cold. He's like a stray dog. I wasn't happy. It wasn't warm. I wasn't happy or overjoyed at all. Satoshi-kun mumbled. He didn't know what to say in a situation like this, but he knew that he had better say something. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. So he just mumbled. I'm sorry, Shion. Why are you apologizing, Satoshi-kun? I'm the one who should apologize. Even though I said I'd wait for you, even though I believed my heart wouldn't change. My heart is full of holes. You are leaking out from the small cracks in my heart, little by little. You are leaking out from me. Are you suffering because I'm here? Why? You're so precious to me. So don't say that. I've been here with you all this time. But I think I'm hurting you by continuing to exist. I don't want that. That's not true. No, 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 no. Where have you been, Satoshi-kun? You weren't with me. Tell me where you are. What's the address? What's the postal code? What's the name of the city? What's the street number? Tell me. There isn't an address. I knew it. Telling me you've always been with me, always by my side. That's such a cliché. Which do you prefer, Shion? If I can give you strength, I'll stay by your side forever. But you're suffering because of me. I'll disappear right away.
そんなこと言わないでよ。一緒がいい。一緒がいいよ。サトシ君といつまでも一緒がいい。
Okay. I'll stay with you then. A car passed by. The noise snapped me out of my reverie. Let me make a bet. Is it Irie? The sky was turning orange. I should get home before it gets cold. I should go home, talking to Mia. Or just a random car that passed by. You're with me, right? Are you with me right now, Satoshi-kun? I walked back to my moped. My feet sank into the grass. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I stopped when I reached my bike. Oh, but then I heard an extra footstep. I gasped. I could feel somebody else's presence. I'm not stupid. Nobody else was around here. Nobody had suddenly appeared behind me. So I wasn't surprised to find nobody when I turned around. But he was definitely still there. Oh, the footsteps.
サトシ君。
I couldn't see him. But he was there. He was there for me. Satoshi-kun never lies. He said he'd be with me all the time. I had just been too insensitive to feel his existence until now.
サトシ君。サトシ君。
A breeze tickled my hair. Felt cold, but to me, it was nothing but the warmth of his hand. It took me a while to notice that my cheeks were wet with tears. Wow. I am not liking the sound of that. Like, I had the feeling that what I'm thinking of, like the disease that has started a while ago, now it's accentuating even more. It's beginning. I was too scared to sleep. If I went to sleep, I might not find Satoshi-kun there in the morning. Oh my god. This is sad. This is getting more and more sad when it comes to Satoshi and Shion. So I kept talking to him until I passed out. I told him about what happened while he was missing. I told him that I realized how much I loved him after he went away. I had searched for him, looking into various different things. I'd gathered underground information for Kasai, and bargained for police information to Oishi. But I couldn't find any leads. A long time passed, but I kept thinking about it. Etc., etc. I told him all the small details from my daily life. The places I wanted to go with him. The things I wanted to do with him. The food I wanted to share with him. And I told him a lot of things. I was sitting up at first, but I got tired, so I laid down. I got tired of moving my mouth too, so I started talking to him in my mind. It was the happiest night I've ever had. When I woke up, I didn't find Satoshi-kun by my side. I knew it somehow. I was afraid of it. And that was why I didn't want to go to sleep. But at least I got to see him for one night. Just when I resigned myself to that, I felt Satoshi-kun's presence again. It wasn't a dream after all. I thanked God. And so I began my strange life with Satoshi-kun. As promised, Satoshi-kun was always by my side. He couldn't laugh, mumble, or stroke my head. But he was always with me, always right by my side. He disappeared sometimes, but he'd come back when I looked for him. It seemed that all I could hear was his footsteps. Okay. We're definitely gonna have to go through this. Our new daily life with Ghost Satoshi, apparently. That's just the way it was. It was a bit sad, but I was still satisfied. His presence was really faint, so it was hard to sense him in the crowd. But he never left me. If he were tangible, I'd be taking his hand all the time, so that he wouldn't be lost. In contrast, I could feel him very strongly in a quiet environment. Of course, I couldn't tell what his expressions were, because he was just a presence. But after I got used to it, I could tell what he was thinking. At first, I could only tell if he was laughing or not. Eventually, I started to feel his emotions more strongly. I could communicate with him normally. I was usually alone with him though. I didn't want to go to school or hang out with my friends anymore. But Satoshi-kun got upset about that. He'd keep mumbling unhappily. Now that I knew he'd always be with me, I shouldn't just stay home all the time. I was taking my time alone with him, however, because I was scared that he might suddenly disappear again, and I wanted to make the most of the time I was sharing with him right now. I must have been worrying too excessively. Satoshi-kun will always be by my side. Yeah, that was his promise. He never breaks his promises. I was fine, because he was there. Of course, I couldn't tell anybody about him, not even Sis. I could try to explain it to them, but they'd never understand. But I was certain that he was with me. So, I'd be alright.
シオンさんはどうなさいますか？今夜の綿流しのお祭りは。
うん。行って適当に遊ぶつもりです。お姉とその愉快な仲間たちでもからかうかな。
I wanted to go to the festival with Satoshi-kun. I knew he'd like to see me having fun with everybody. He might get jealous if I played with Kei-chan. But Satoshi-kun isn't very sensitive in that way. Satoshi-kun loved to see me and my friends have fun. Okay, well, this is an entirely new spin to what I was thinking. So, I guess now that Satoshi is here in, like, Shion's mind, it kind of stops, like, Shion from having a grudge against Mion for loving Keiichi. Because, well, Satoshi is here. Why should I have a grudge on my sister who loves Keiichi, like the way I was before when Keiichi was not there? But since since Satoshi is here, like, I don't care. I don't care that Mion loves Keiichi. At least that's the way I think of it. But I get a feeling that at some point, like, the film is gonna cut at some point. Satoshi is no longer gonna be there in Shion's mind, and thus she's gonna go back to having like a huge grudge on Mion, and quite the jealousy and envy on Mion for having Keiichi. And thus the madness is gonna begin. I get a feeling that that's gonna happen. Then I talk about the day with him later.
何でHinamizawaに行きますか？車で行くならお送りしますよ。
スクーターで行くからいいや。
それはいけません。帰りに本家に寄られて、親類の宴会に加わられるんでしょ？
I don't think that she cares about that.
居眠り運転などさせられません。
He won't let me drive, but he is kind enough to let me drink. Well, she does have to visit the parents as well.
じゃ、お世話になりますかね。
わかりました。では、夕方に出発しましょう。
Alright.
そのくらいの頃にお迎えに参ります。
After Kasai left, I sensed that Satoshi-kun was excited about going to the festival.
綿流しか。サトシくんがいなくなっちゃってから、もうすぐ1年になるんだね。
Satoshi-kun seemed confused.
ムー。でしょ？
Oh my god. I just thought of a scenario right over here. That, okay, no doubt that Shion is gonna be there at the festival. Just like in chapter 2. And, you know, tease Mion and all that. I don't want to think of another case of Satoko having like a breakdown, but imagine if Shion is right there, and with a slip of the tongue, Shion mentions just the name Satoshi, and Satoko is gonna have like a breakdown, like the next second there. I don't want that to happen. Please don't make it happen. We laughed together.
Ariakey! はいよ、網とお椀。
よし、やるぞ。金魚はみんな生きがいいね。実に美味しそう。この小さいのなんか、そのままボリボリと生でいけちゃうよね。
Huh?
ミオンさんは何を言ってるんでございますの？みーちゃん、食べてたの？去年レナからもらったのも食べちゃったの？
Yeah, that's I feel like that's what happened in chapter 2 as well. That's how, like, Shion was pretending with her voice to be Mion, like in the background, to make it sound as if Mion is the one who ate that. In actuality, it's Shion just pranking them.
違う。私そんなこと言ってない。
Sis shook her head hard. She turned all red.
いや、でも、今、ミオン、お前自分で言ったぞ。実に美味しそうだって。
確かに言いました。お姉って雑食ですから、口に入れば何でも食べちゃうんです。
美味しいなら今度僕も試してみるのです。ダメだよリカちゃん、お腹壊しちゃうよ。
ちょっと待て。おいこら。お前、いつの間にいるんだよ。シオン。
ケイちゃんにお姉にみんな。
God, it's wild seeing Keiichi like right in front of me. It's just like I'm still getting used to it.
こんばんは。
Feels so surreal.
あんたどこから湧いてきたのシオン。焼きそば屋さんの時からずっとです。お姉たちは騒がしいからすぐに見つけられました。もう。
Which, you know, now that I'm thinking about this, it's kind of interesting how the story of Higurashi is being told in a different way than Yumineko. In Yumineko, you didn't really have like one person through whose eyes you see the road in similar fashion to right over here, because now we're in first-person perspective as Shion. In the earlier chapters, like we had like first-person perspective with Keiichi and Akasaka in chapter 4. But in Yumineko, for example, even if, for example, Balor was our protagonist for like the first episode and all that, and later episodes, and like, you know, changing perspectives and all that, like we never really had that kind of way of telling the story. It was like through a third person, like omniscience, I think it's called. I'm forgetting what it's called, but you guys know what I mean. Like, it wasn't through first-person perspective.
あんたは関係ないでしょ?
Like, you know, like, there is definitely a difference between the way this was told and the way Yumineko is told. Like, in this, you're kind of stuck to one person for like one chapter. Like, as Keiichi in the first chapters, you don't get to see other perspectives. Like, at all. You don't know what's happening in the background. Whereas in Yumineko, like, the narration and like the perspective keeps switching from one place to another. At one point you see like the cousins having fun, in like other areas you see like Natsuhi talking to Kinzo in the study room, and in the parlor you see like the adults talking to each other about money. It's quite something.
早くどっか行きなさいよ。もう、お姉もあまり私を邪険にしないでください。
I mean, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I could use some behind the scenes perspective, maybe, like change the scenery a little bit from Shion. I don't know, maybe see what Irie is doing right now. I'm just saying, maybe Irie is up to something. Maybe he's doing something special right now. Or Miyotakaro and Tomitake. Come on, give me something to work with here, Higurashi. Like, I wanna do something here about this mystery. Come on.
ね、ケイちゃん、私が一緒でもいいですよね。
Like, at this point, I am thinking of just barging through like the hospital and checking every single room to see if Satoshi is there. Cause, I mean, if I'm to think about the experimentations and all that, what other place would fit well for checking on the disease and all that than a hospital? Except maybe under the hospital there's like a secret like organization laboratory where they have like all the victims of the past years, like the sacrifices that have disappeared and all that, who they're checking on. I want to see that. I want to see that. If there's such a thing like that. Come on. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I took Kei-chan's arm and held it between my breasts. Meanwhile, I'm here like looking at Keiichi being stuck between two cute girls right over here. We were going to have a ball. I went around the booth with Sis and her friends. I joked around and laughed out loud. I teased Kei-chan and Sis too. Kei-chan was at the center of the group, so if I did something to him, it naturally involved everybody else. He looked like Satoshi-kun was having a hard time finding his own spot in the crowd. When I glanced at him in a quiet moment, he smiled and told me to have fun without worrying about him. Just don't say Satoshi's name out loud, Shion. I beg you, please. For the love of God, don't make a scene right over here. Don't say his name. Don't say his name at all. Just look at each other like silently and all that. Just do it like that. No mentioning any Satoshi name. If you are tangible, I pull his arm to join the crowd. It made me sad that I couldn't do that. No, you know, at least we're not at that stage where Shion thinks that Satoshi is physically here. He is here in a ghost form, at least. I mean, that's at least a little bit better than being 100% delusional. To think that Satoshi came back and he's like, right here! He's like right here! Can't you guys see him? Or something like that. She is 50% delusional, which is better than 100% delusional. I bumped into somebody's shoulder. It was obviously my fault, so I apologized right away. As it turned out, it was somebody I knew. Hello there. Mio Takano. Tomitake Jiro.
楽しんでるみたいね。こんばんは、しおんちゃん。
For you guys to appear for a second time in the chapter? Well, actually, technically, this is the first time that I'm seeing Tomitake over here as well. But still, like, I'm being blessed with your presence. Am I gonna get more stuff out of you guys?
月の綺麗な晩ね。
あれ、すごいお久しぶりですね、高野さん。それから。
そうだね。僕は富武。みおんちゃんの双子の妹さんだって話は聞いてるよ。
よろしくです、富武さん。
はい。
凄腕のカメラマンとのお噂だとか。ぜひ今度私も映してくださいね。
デビューを夢見て投稿を繰り返す素人だけどね。
そんなことないわよ。二郎さんは上手よ。いろいろとね。
Oh.
いやいや、まだまだ勉強が足りないよ。才能に恵まれない分を努力で補わないとね。
You goddamn idiot! She was flirting with you! They must have been in a relationship.
高野さんと富武さん、仲がよろしいようで。
Unless Tomitake is aware. Maybe they are further in that stage where they are aware and they know they're in a relationship, in which case, good for you guys. I'm at least happy for you when it comes to that. Still, I mean, like, you guys are such secretive fucks.
私はお邪魔ですかね。
あらあら。ご検察痛み入るけど、お気遣いは結構よ。それに高野なんてなんだか他人行儀みたいな呼び方ね。昔みたいにミヨって呼んでくれていいのに。
Okay, Bonnie.
やっぱり目上の人にファーストネーム呼びつけはちょっと気になるものでして。まあ気にしないでください。
I smiled bashfully, and Takano-san smiled back elegantly. Yeah, whatever. Let me just go to that toy store, like, right over here. And see if I can win some stuff again. Like, I want that teddy bear. And that tank, of course. Just like last time.
あれから図書館には来ないのね。研究の同志として もっともっといろいろお話ししたかったのに。
まあ気が向いたらそのうちってことで。
研究の同志ってまさかしおんちゃんも興味があるのかい？そのこの村の昔話とかに。
Tomitake-san raised his eyebrows. As far as I knew, Takano-san's hobby wasn't exactly an art. On the surface, her research dealt with the cultural history of ancient Hinamizawa, but his main focus was of Watagashi festival from ancient times. The cannibal banquet, in which they captured and gutted a living sacrifice. It was then that I heard the loud booms of the taiko drums. Is that the main event of the Watanagashi festival, the dedication dance, was about to start. According to Takano-san's hypothesis, the part of the dance where the shrine maiden tears open a futon mat represents gutting a living victim.
いよいよ始まりますね。そろそろ私も行くかな。高野さんたちも見に行くんですよね。リカちゃまの儀式。
ん？うん。
Tomitake-san looked bewildered. Did that mean he wasn't coming? Yeah, I get ya. You just want to visit like the ritual storehouse and get inside and take some pictures and all that. You guys have fun, whatever. Takano-san giggled, then whispered in my ear.
実はね、これから西宮殿の中に入ってみようと思うの。
Yeah, what a surprise.
え？
She made it sound like she was going to do something fun. But it wouldn't be amusing to anyone who knew what the ritual storehouse was. The ritual storehouse, or the storehouse of the ritual implements, is sort of a treasure house belonging to the Furude shrine. Okay, well I already know this. Can we just... Only people from the Furude family and selected members of the other two free families are allowed to enter. Okay, so there are actually other members of other families who are allowed. Well, I guess it makes sense that Sonozakis like Oreo and Mion are allowed to go inside there too. And Kimiyoshi more than likely.
But でも確かものすごい厳重な鍵がかかってたと思いましたよ。
去年まではね。前の缶抜きじゃ重すぎて大変だとリカちゃんが言ったらしいの。それで今年からものすごく安っぽい南京錠に変わったの。知ってた？
いえ、知りません。でも安っぽいと言ったって錠前がかかってますよ。
I still have to wonder why the change in padlock. Like I was thinking at some point that maybe they changed it because they wanted to catch some people in the act or something, to figure out who is the one behind these murders, and they're gonna realize that these motherfuckers are part of it or something like that. I don't know.
二郎さんね、とても器用なの。
ピッキングですか？
綿流しの儀式が始まれば全員が儀式に集まるでしょ。西宮殿の周りには人影は全くなくなる。今夜が一番の資格なの。東大元暮らしとでも言うのかしらね。
According to her hypothesis, the ancient tools used for human dissection and torture would be found in the ritual storehouse.
よかったら後でこっそりいらっしゃいな。
Sure, why not? It's not like I have anything else to do.
二度とないチャンスよ。じゃあよかったら後でね。
高野さん、何の内緒話だい？
女同士の内緒話よ。行きましょう。暗くて人気のないところへ合いびきに。
ん
Takano-san walked against the flow of the crowd alongside Tomitake-san. Alright, well, you guys have fun in the meantime. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. The retro storehouse, huh? He is supposedly filled with torture tools. Some religious fanatic or somebody from the family must be imitating a curse in order to revive the ancient gladiator. Yeah. Nah, there's no garbage inside. There's a lot of torture tools, that's for sure.
Satoshi-kun, どうしよう。
Since most people went to see Urika-chama's... Urika-chama's? I have never seen that kind of honorific. Urika-chan, Urika-sama? Is that a combination of honorifics? A ritual dance. The festival grounds were deadly quiet. Even so, I couldn't sense Satoshi-kun. Did he go somewhere? Or was I not paying enough attention? Or maybe he wasn't feeling any emotions in particular. After thinking for a while, I decided to go with them. I decided to go in with them. Alright, well, let's go. Yeah, it's been almost a year since Satoshi-kun's disappearance. I've been avoiding the truth because I was afraid he might be dead. Ugh. You know, I was saying before that now that Shion is thinking of Satoshi in her mind, that he's always around Shion, I was thinking that something is gonna cut the film, like cut the movie strip, to make her think that Satoshi is not there anymore. Like some form of confirmation that Satoshi is dead. That will make Shion go on a rampage on Mion, Keiichi, and all that. So maybe this is gonna be it. Wait, so does this mean that the evidence would be found inside? But now I had a chance. I had a chance to see the inside of the ritual storehouse. I felt as though something divine had arranged the coincidence. On my way to the storehouse, I noticed Keiichi. He was jumping up and down, trying to see Urika-chama's dedication dance over people's shoulders. If I took him along, we could split the guild. Yashiro-sama might put a curse on me for entering his divine storehouse. I wanted a partner in crime. Hold on. Since the boy I loved disappeared last year because of the curse. Ah! Fucking called it. I fucking called it. Like she was thinking of this. She was thinking like, okay, well, it's not quite as I was talking about before. Like I was thinking that maybe Satoshi was brought inside the ritual storehouse, maybe because of Neon. But nonetheless, Shion right over here is thinking with the mindset of revenge a little bit, like, hey, if Satoshi disappeared, I'm gonna put the curse on Keiichi, like, and all that, to make people angry when they found out that Keiichi was also in the ritual storehouse, and thus maybe Keiichi is gonna end up disappearing, just to piss off Mion, just to make Mion sad that, hey, if Satoshi disappeared, then Keiichi is gonna disappear as well.
何考えてんだ私。
That must have been the demon inside of me. I shook the thought out of my head.
どうしたんだよシオン。それより 奉納演舞がよく見えるとこってまだ遠いのか？
奉納演舞がよく見えるなんて誰が言いました？
We made it to the ritual storehouse. Keiichi was baffled by the whole situation. Our timing had been perfect. I could see Tomitake picking the lock. Alright. Like, you know, I do have to apologize for quote-unquote skipping some of the text from before, not voicing the narration and all that. Technically, I myself was not skipping them. I was reading them, like, much faster. It's just that... You know, you gotta take into account that this, this story is really, really long. Sometimes... Like... It can be really long. I just didn't feel like voicing it. Even though Keiichi must have been curious, he insisted that we shouldn't go in. But I talked him into it anyway. He was quick to change his mind when Tomitake-san joined in. It was completely dark inside, so Takano-san lit a battery-powered lantern. A small entry space appeared before us.
真っ暗だね。みんな転ばないように気をつけるんだよ。
ご心配ありがとう。じゃあ門番をよろしくね。ここ閉めるわよ。
Takano-san closed the door with a smile, as if leaving Tomitake-san out on purpose.
やれやれ。じゃあみんなゆっくり楽しんでおいで。
I need not to mention that it was stuff that we've already discussed like plenty, and we're gonna go through the same motions again, so I just want to make some progress a little bit. Just go through the text a little bit faster, I guess. As soon as the heavy door was closed, we were surrounded by a quiet darkness. All we could rely on was Takano-san's lantern.
大丈夫よ。予備電池も入ってるアウトドア仕様なんだから。消えたりなんかしないわよ。
Takano-san teased Keiichi a little. Keiichi, in turn, looked a little pale. He seemed to be able to recognize the sanctity of the building even though he wasn't from Hinamizawa.
さあ、入りましょう。よいしょっと。
After Takano-san opened the heavy door, a dusty foul smell flowed out. It was like the smell of a pantry that hadn't been opened in. It was like the smell of a pantry that hadn't been opened in years, and the smell of a fish market mixed together. I didn't know exactly how to describe it, but it was a bad smell. From listening to the echo of our footsteps, I could tell that this room was much bigger than the one we were just in. When Takano-san raised her lantern, I could clearly see just how big it was. At the far side of the wall, there was a statue of some kind of god staring down at us intruders. The way it was lit by the lantern gave it a powerful appearance, and it scared me.
あれがHinamizawaの守り神。お社様よ。
I looked up at the statue, which was holding its religious ornaments. If Satoshi-kun's disappearance really was a curse, I couldn't forgive this god. I found myself irritated by the way the statue looked down at me. Damn you, Oyashiro-sama. If you really made Satoshi-kun disappear, I'll never forgive you. Never.